For 1,000 years, the Zorgon Empire waited in the dark, preparing to destroy Earth. Their Admiral Krog swore to wipe out humanity, believing we were weak and defenseless. They fired their strongest laser to turn our cities into ash. But they made one huge mistake. Humans weren't scared. We were just laughing.
Deep in the dark corners of the galaxy, the silence was finally broken. It was a place where no starship had gone for a long time. Suddenly, space began to twist and turn. One by one, massive ships appeared out of nowhere. These were not friendly ships. They were sharp, black, and covered in red spikes. They looked like giant metal monsters floating in the dark. This was the grand fleet of the Zorgon Empire. They had been hiding for 1,000 years, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Inside the biggest ship, known as the World Eater, Admiral Krog stood on the command bridge. Krog was a terrifying sight. He was 7 feet tall, with green scaly skin and sharp yellow teeth. He wore heavy black armor that made a loud clanking sound when he moved. He looked at the giant screen in front of him. On the screen was a beautiful blue planet, Earth. Krog smiled a wicked smile. He turned to his crew and shouted, "Soldiers of Zorgon, look at that planet. For 1,000 years, the humans have lived in peace. They have forgotten how to fight. They have no guns on their ships. They have no armies. Today, we will take their home." The crew cheered loudly. They were ready for war. Krog pressed a big red button on his console. He wanted to send a message to the humans. He wanted to see them cry and beg for mercy before he attacked. He opened a channel that would hack every screen on Earth. In New York, in Tokyo, in London, and even in people's living rooms, the screens flickered and turned black. Then Admiral Krog's scary face appeared everywhere. Krog took a deep breath and screamed as loud as he could. "People of Earth! I am Admiral Krog of the Zorgon Empire. Your time of peace is over. We are here to conquer you. We have thousands of ships. We have lasers that can melt cities. Surrender now, or we will destroy everything you love." He leaned closer to the camera, showing his sharp teeth. "Tremble before me. Cry. Scream. Let me hear your fear." Krog waited. He expected to hear panic. He expected the humans to run in the streets. But on Earth, things were very different. In the Global Defense Center, which looked more like a relaxed office than a military base, a man named Dave was sitting in a comfortable chair. Dave was wearing a t-shirt and eating a chocolate donut. When the alarms went off, he didn't jump. He just looked at the big screen where Krog was screaming. Dave chewed his donut slowly. He looked confused, not scared. He swallowed his bite and pressed a button to talk back to the alien fleet. Hello?" Dave said. His voice was calm and bored. "Is this a Twitch stream? Or maybe a promo for a new movie? Your makeup is really good, by the way. It looks almost real." Up in space, Admiral Krog froze. He blinked his yellow eyes. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. "What?" Krog roared. "I am not a movie! I am your doom! I am the destroyer of worlds! Why are you not screaming?" Dave wiped some chocolate off his face. He turned to his coworker, a woman named Sarah, who was playing a game on her phone. "Hey Sarah, look at this! Some guy hacked the system to do a cosplay prank. He looks like an angry gecko." Sarah looked up and laughed. "Ask him if he does birthday parties," she said. Dave chuckled and turned back to the microphone. Listen, buddy, we are kinda busy here. Can you take your prank somewhere else? We have a pizza delivery coming in 5 minutes. Krog's face turned purple with rage. He slammed his fist on the console. "They are laughing at us!" he screamed to his crew. "They think this is a joke! They think I am a clown!" Krog pointed a shaking finger at the Earth on the screen. "Fire the warning shot! Target their moon! Blow a huge crater in it! Show them that we are not playing games!" The Zorgon weapons officer nodded. He charged up the main cannon. A bright red light began to glow at the front of the ship. It hummed with power. "Firing in 3, 2, 1, the officer shouted. A massive beam of red energy shot out of the ship. It moved faster than light, heading straight for the moon. Krog crossed his arms and smirked. "Now they will learn," he whispered. The laser hit the area around the Earth and moon. But instead of an explosion, something strange happened. A soft, invisible wall shimmered into existence. It was a planetary shield that the humans had built centuries ago and forgotten about. The deadly red laser hit the shield and simply bounced off. It didn't even leave a scratch. In fact, the shield absorbed the energy and turned it into a harmless display of colorful lights, like fireworks in the daytime. Back on Earth, people looked up at the sky. "Ooh, pretty," said a child in a park. "Look, Mom, fireworks in the daytime." Dave, still in the office, looked at his readings. "Oh, wait," Dave said, sitting up straight. "Sarah, put the phone away. That wasn't a prank, that was an actual laser." Sarah looked at the screen. "Really? That was weak. My toaster uses more power than that." Dave nodded in agreement. "Yeah, their weapons are super old, like ancient history old. Should we shoot back?" "No," Sarah said, yawning. "The president said we can't hurt endangered species. Just turn on the automatic deflectors and let them tire themselves out. I want to see what else they try to do. It's kind of funny." In space, Admiral Krog was hyperventilating. "Impossible!" he yelled. "Our strongest weapon, it did nothing. What kind of monsters are these humans?" He looked at his tactical officer. "Prepare the fleet. Send down the fighter jets. If we can't destroy them from space, we will go down there and fight them face to face." Krog didn't know it yet, but he had just made the biggest mistake of his life. The humans weren't scared. They were grabbing their popcorn. The war had begun, but for humanity, the entertainment had just started.
High above the Earth, Admiral Krog was shaking with anger. His warning shot had turned into a light show, and his crew looked nervous. He needed to regain control. He needed to show these humans the true power of the Zorgon Empire. "Launch the stingers!" Krog shouted, spitting on the floor. "Send out every fighter jet we have, thousands of them, blot out the sun. If their shield stops lasers, let's see how they handle physical ships flying into their cities." Within minutes, the belly of the massive mothership opened up. Like a swarm of angry bees, thousands of small triangular fighter jets flew out. They were fast and loud. They descended towards Earth's atmosphere, their engines roaring. The sky over New York, London, and Tokyo began to turn dark as the alien ships covered the clouds. To the aliens, this was a terrifying invasion. To the humans on the ground, it looked like the coolest air show in history. On the streets of New York, people stopped their cars, but they didn't run for cover. Instead, they grabbed their smartphones. "Here they come!" yelled a teenager named Kevin, holding up his phone to live stream the event. "Welcome back to the stream, guys. The aliens are sending the little ships now. Let's see what the Defense Force does." The Global Defense Center didn't send fighter jets. They didn't launch missiles. Instead, Dave, still eating his second donut, spoke into his headset. "All right, release the drone swarm, but keep them on non-lethal mode. We don't want to break their toys just yet. Let's get some 4K footage." From hidden hatches on the tops of skyscrapers, thousands of silver spheres shot into the sky. These were human camera drones. They were tiny, but they were incredibly fast, much faster than the alien fighter jets. The Zorgon pilots were confused. They saw these silver balls zipping around them, doing loops and tricks. "Admiral!" screamed a Zorgon pilot over the radio. "The humans! They are surrounding us! Their ships are tiny! They are too fast to hit!" The pilot tried to shoot his plasma gun at a drone, but the drone easily dodged the shot and flew right up to the alien's cockpit window. The drone hovered there, its camera lens zooming in and out. "Sir, it's looking at me! It's taking close-up pictures of my face!" Admiral Krog slammed his hand on his chair. "Don't let them take selfies with you, you idiot! Shoot them down!" But it was useless. The human drones were playing tag with the alien jets. One drone even landed on the wing of a Zorgon ship. The alien pilot tried to shake it off, but the drone just stayed there, broadcasting the alien pilot's panicked face to millions of laughing humans on Earth. Things got worse for Krog. Suddenly, the communication channels on his ship started making weird noises. He was trying to give orders to his fleet, but his voice was cut off. Instead of military commands, loud, upbeat dance music started playing through every speaker in the Zorgon fleet. A 14-year-old hacker from a basement in Chicago had easily broken into the alien network. "What is this noise?" Krog covered his ears. The music was thumping bass, shaking the walls of his ship. On his main screen, a cartoon image of a dancing cat appeared. "Stop this! Stop the music!" Krog yelled. But his technicians were helpless. "Sir, their firewall is too strong. We can't stop the beat." The invasion had turned into a disco party. The Zorgon fighter jets were flying erratically because the pilots couldn't hear their orders over the loud music. The human drones were dancing in the sky, flashing colorful lights in rhythm with the song. The humans on the ground were cheering and waving glow sticks. Krog had had enough. He turned off the main speakers and breathed heavily. His face was red. He walked over to a special console protected by a glass case. "They treat this like a game. They laugh at our fleet. They dance to our failure. But let's see if they laugh at this." He punched in a code. "Release the Beast of Zog." The crew on the bridge gasped. "Sir," his lieutenant whispered, "the beast is uncontrollable. It has destroyed entire civilizations. Are you sure?" "Drop it!" Krog commanded. "Drop it right in the middle of their biggest city." From the bottom of the mothership, a massive black metal cage was ejected. It fell through the sky like a meteor, burning red as it entered the atmosphere. It crashed in the middle of Central Park in New York with a thunderous boom. Dirt and trees flew everywhere. The music stopped. The drones backed away. The humans on the street finally went silent. Steam hissed from the crashed cage. The heavy metal doors groaned and fell open. Out of the smoke stepped the Beast of Zog. It was huge, the size of a school bus. It had 6 legs, thick purple fur, 4 eyes, and a mouth full of sharp teeth. It let out a roar that shook the windows of nearby buildings. Admiral Krog watched from space, a cruel smile finally returning to his face. "Yes, now run! Now scream! That beast will eat you all!" The smoke cleared in Central Park. The dust settled. The beast looked around, ready to attack. But nobody was running. A group of human children who had been playing nearby walked slowly towards the monster. Krog leaned forward. "Yes! Tear them apart!" The beast growled and lowered its head, looking at the small humans. One brave little girl, holding a melting ice cream cone, stepped right up to the monster's giant nose. The beast sniffed her. It smelled the strawberry ice cream. It stopped growling. Its 4 eyes widened. "It's so fluffy!" the little girl shouted. She reached out and patted the monster's nose. To Krog's horror, the beast didn't bite her. Instead, its tail started to wag. Thump, thump, thump. The beast let out a happy sound that sounded like a giant purr. It rolled over on its back, exposing its belly, asking for belly rubs. "No!" Krog screamed, falling to his knees. "That is the Eater of Worlds! Why is it acting like a puppy?" The crowd in Central Park erupted in awes. People started taking pictures. Someone threw a frisbee, and the terrifying beast of Zog happily chased after it, crushing a park bench in its excitement. The war was going terribly for the aliens. Their lasers were fireworks, their jets were toys, and their ultimate monster was now a park pet. But Krog wasn't done. He had one final card to play, a secret so old that even the humans might have forgotten it. But for now, he could only watch as a human put a flower crown on the beast.
Back on the bridge of the World Eater, the silence was heavy. Admiral Krog was no longer shouting. He was no longer giving orders. He was sitting on the floor, holding his head in his hands, weeping openly. On the main screen, the image was clear. The terrifying beast of Zog, the monster that was supposed to destroy New York, was currently sleeping on its back, while 3 children braided its purple fur with flowers. It likes them, Krog sobbed. Why does it like them? We starved it for a month. It should be eating them. His lieutenant approached him slowly. Sir, we have lost contact with the fighter jets. The human pilots, they invited our soldiers to a video game tournament online. Our pilots are currently losing badly in a game called Mario Kart. They say they are having too much fun to continue the invasion. Krog looked up, his eyes red. My fleet is dancing. My monster is a pet. My soldiers are playing games. He stood up slowly. Who are these people? How did we get it so wrong? The history books said they were weak. They said they gave up war. Suddenly, a soft chime rang through the ship. Ding dong! It sounded like a doorbell. What was that? Krog asked, jumping in fright. Sir, the sensor officer said, his voice trembling, a small ship has appeared right next to us. It's very shiny, and it's hailing us. Fire everything, Krog screamed out of habit. No need for that, dear. A calm voice echoed through the bridge, not from the speakers, but from the middle of the room. The air shimmered, and a beam of white light appeared. When the light faded, a human was standing right there on the alien command bridge. It wasn't a soldier in armor. It wasn't a space marine. It was an old woman. She was wearing a nice floral dress and holding a handbag. She looked like a grandmother on her way to the market. The alien guards pointed their jagged rifles at her. Freeze! They shouted. The old woman ignored them. She walked over to Admiral Krog's command chair, dusted it off with her hand, and sat down comfortably. She crossed her legs and looked at the stunned Admiral. Hello, Krog. My name is Ambassador Elena. I've been sent to accept your apology. Krog's jaw dropped. Apology? My apology? I am invading you. I am the conqueror. Elena sighed, digging into her purse. She pulled out a hard candy and popped it into her mouth. Oh, honey, you aren't invading anyone. You're barely scratching the paint. We let you play because it was a boring Tuesday, but now you're getting a bit noisy. Krog puffed out his chest. We have superior technology. Our ships travel faster than light. Our lasers utilize dark matter. Elena laughed softly. It was a kind, pitying laugh. Krog, look around you. Look at your ship. Where did you find the designs for this technology? We found them, Krog declared proudly. We found the ancient ruins on a dead moon 2,000 years ago. The builders left them. We studied them. We built our empire on their wisdom. Elena nodded slowly. Yes, the builders. That was us, Krog. That was humanity. The bridge went silent. Krog stared at her. Lies! You are soft. You have no weapons. We have no weapons on Earth, Elena corrected him, her voice turning serious for the first time. Because Earth is a nature preserve. It's a park. We keep it safe and primitive because we like trees and fresh air. She stood up and walked toward Krog. She tapped on the console of the alien ship. "This technology you are using? This ship? These dark matter lasers? This is human technology from the year 3000. Do you know what we used it for?" Krog couldn't speak. He just shook his head. "Garbage disposal," Elena said simply. "These ships were our garbage trucks. The lasers were used to break down recycling. You found our old garbage dump, Krog. You built an entire empire using our discarded trash. And then you came back to attack us with it. It's like a caveman trying to attack a tank with a stick he found." Krog felt dizzy. Everything he knew was a lie. His mighty fleet was just a fleet of garbage trucks? His mighty empire was a joke? "So, you are the masters of the galaxy?" he whispered. "We retired. We got bored of winning. So please, take your fleet and go home, before the young people down there decide to stop playing and start testing their real weapons." Krog looked defeated. He was ready to give the order to retreat. He was ready to run away and never come back. But suddenly, the entire ship shook violently. The lights flickered red. An alarm blared louder than anything before. "What is happening?" Elena asked, frowning. The sensor officer screamed, "Admiral, a massive energy spike! Hyperspace is ripping open! It's the Imperial flagship!" Krog's eyes widened in horror. "Oh no, he is here." Outside, space tore apart. A ship the size of a moon emerged. It was golden and terrifying. This was the personal ship of the Zorgon Emperor. A hologram appeared in the center of the bridge. It was the Emperor himself, a giant floating head with glowing red eyes. "Admiral Krog," the Emperor boomed, "you have failed. You are weak. These humans have tricked you with lies." "Your Highness, wait," Krog pleaded. "They are too strong. Their technology is—" "Silence," the Emperor roared. "If the fleet cannot do it, I will do it myself. Prepare the Sun Crusher." Elena's face went pale. "The Sun Crusher?" "Yes, human," the Emperor sneered. "A missile designed to cause a star to go supernova. If we cannot have Earth, no one will. I am firing it at your sun. In 10 minutes, your solar system will be nothing but dust." Krog looked at Elena. For the first time, the human looked annoyed. "Well," she said, pulling out a small, flat device from her pocket, "I was hoping we wouldn't have to do this, but your boss is very rude." The Emperor laughed. "Prepare to die, humans!" The Sun Crusher missile launched from the golden ship, leaving a trail of fire as it headed straight for the sun. The clock was ticking. The joke was over. The humans had to stop laughing and start fighting.
The Sun Crusher missile was a streak of black fire, racing through space. It was moving so fast that it would reach the sun in less than 2 minutes. If it hit, the sun would explode and the entire solar system would burn. On the bridge of the World Eater, Admiral Krog watched the screen with wide, terrified eyes. He looked at the hologram of the Emperor, who was laughing maniacally. Then he looked at Ambassador Elena. The old human woman didn't look scared. She looked annoyed. She was tapping her foot on the floor like she was waiting for a bus. 2 minutes! The Emperor roared from the hologram. "Say your prayers, monkeys! Your history ends today!" Elena sighed loudly. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small, flat device. It looked like a cheap tablet. She tapped the screen a few times. "You know," she said, her voice calm amidst the chaos, "this is very rude. We were going to let you leave with your dignity, but now you are trying to break our light bulb." "It is too late!" the Emperor screamed. "Nothing can stop the Sun Crusher. It has shields made of pure energy." Elena held the tablet up to her ear. "Hello? Yes, Steve, it's Elena. Listen, there is a spicy firecracker heading for the sun. Can you delete it, please? Yes, I know it's your lunch break. Just do it. She hung up and looked at the screen. Watch closely, Krog. Krog turned his head to the main view screen. The missile was seconds away from the sun. Suddenly, space seemed to glitch. It looked like a computer screen freezing. The terrifying missile stopped in midair. It didn't explode. It didn't crash. It simply changed. One moment, it was a weapon of mass destruction. The next moment, it turned into millions of sparkling lights. It exploded, but not with fire. It exploded into a cloud of pink and blue confetti. The confetti spread out across thousands of miles of space, forming giant glowing letters. The letters spelled out one phrase: "Welcome to the neighborhood." The silence on the bridge was deafening. The Zorgon Emperor stopped laughing. His mouth hung open. What did you do to my missile?" he whispered. "We rewrote its code," Elena explained, putting her tablet away. "Your technology is based on our old trash. We have the master passwords for everything you own. We turned your bomb into a party popper." The Emperor's face turned purple. "I will destroy you! I will send the entire armada! I will—" Elena held up one finger. "Steve, mute him, please." Suddenly, the Emperor's hologram went silent. His mouth was moving, screaming in rage, but no sound came out. Then, the golden ship of the Emperor, the most powerful ship in the Zorgon fleet, suddenly went dark. The engines turned off, the lights went out. It was just a floating piece of metal. "We just turned off his power," Elena said with a smile. "He's currently drifting in space. We'll tow him later." She turned to look at Admiral Krog. The giant green alien was trembling. He dropped his weapon. He fell to his knees. "Please," Krog begged, tears running down his scaly face. "Do not delete us. Do not turn us into confetti. We surrender. We are sorry." Elena walked over to the terrified Admiral. She patted him on the shoulder, just like a grandmother would pat a child. "Oh, get up, Krog. We aren't going to kill you. Humans don't do war anymore. It's too messy." Then what will you do to us?" Krog asked, confused. "Well," Elena said, looking thoughtful, "you guys are actually pretty funny. You look scary, but you're harmless. And the kids on Earth really love your pet monster." She pulled a paper document out of her purse. "Here is the new treaty. Sign it." Krog read the paper. His eyes widened. "You want us to be entertainers?" "Exactly," Elena nodded. "Earth is boring sometimes. We need excitement. Your fleet will stay. You will build theme parks. You will act in our movies. You will sell t-shirts. And that big ship of yours? We're turning it into a galactic hotel." Krog looked at the Emperor's floating dark ship and then at the confetti still floating near the sun. He realized he had no choice. He took the pen and signed. "Hail Earth," he said weakly. 6 months later, the Earth was busier than ever. The sky was filled with Zorgon ships, but they weren't attacking. They were giving rides to tourists. In Central Park, the Beast of Zog was the most popular attraction. It was wearing a giant pair of sunglasses and sleeping while children climbed on its back. Nearby, a stand was selling "I Survived the Alien Invasion" t-shirts. And at the ticket booth, wearing a bright yellow Hawaiian shirt and a straw hat, sat former Admiral Krog. He looked tired but happy. A human tourist walked up to him. "Hey, aren't you the guy who tried to blow up the moon?" Krog smiled, showing his sharp teeth. "Yes, that was me. Would you like a selfie? It's $5. The human laughed and took the photo. Krog watched the humans walking by, eating ice cream and laughing. He looked up at the sky, where the invisible shield still protected the planet. He realized the galaxy had learned a valuable lesson that day. The Zorgon Empire had come to conquer, but they had been conquered by laughter. As the old saying goes, if you see a human laughing, run. If you see a human stop laughing, pray. But luckily for Krog, the humans were still laughing.
And that is how humanity won the war, by doing absolutely nothing. If you enjoyed seeing Admiral Krog become a ticket seller, go ahead and smash that like button. It helps our human shield stay strong. Make sure to subscribe to the Xenowars Archive for more stories where aliens underestimate humans and instantly regret it. We upload fresh HFY stories that are out of this world. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new invasion, and I have a question for you. If you had a giant pet monster like the Beast of Zog, what would you name it? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and remember, don't mess with humans.